Have you ever just looked at a butterfly and wondered, how does it get that brilliant, intense yellow color? Or what about the vibrant red on a tree frog? Well, the answer is this amazing group of molecules. And their story? It's incredible. It stretches from the teeny tiny structures in nature all the way to the complex chemistry happening inside our own brains. Let's dive into this hidden connection. I know. It sounds like the beginning of a weird joke, right? A frog, a butterfly, and your brain? They seem like they're from completely different worlds. But they are all linked by one class of molecules that's fundamental to both making colors and, believe it or not, to our own consciousness. Stick with me and you'll see exactly how. So to really get this, we got to start by going back in time a bit. And we have to flip a long-held scientific belief completely on its head. The whole idea of where those bright, flashy colors in animals actually come from. For the longest time, the thinking was pretty straightforward. You are what you eat. Scientists figured that all those brilliant reds, yellows, and oranges you see in the animal kingdom were almost all thanks to something called carotenoids. These are pigments that an animal has to get from the food it eats. You know, think of a flamingo getting its famous pink color from eating shrimp. That was the textbook answer for pretty much everything. But then, back in 1964, a study on amphibians dropped this quiet little bombshell in the journal Science. Researchers were looking at frogs and realized, wait a minute, something else is going on here. This quote is basically the moment that old theories started to crack. They were saying, hey, we can't just assume it's all carotenoids anymore. And this is what they found. Purines. Now, purines are a whole different ballgame. They're a class of pigments, but the crucial difference is that animals can make them from scratch. They can synthesize them all by themselves. No special diet needed. This was a total game changer, because it opened up a whole new world of color that was being made in-house. So let's see how this works in one of the most famous examples, the wings of a butterfly. Because in here, purines aren't just acting like a simple dye. Oh no, they're part of this incredibly sophisticated optical system. It's a tiny marvel of natural nanoengineering. If you zoom way in on a single scale from a butterfly's wing, you'll see it's packed with these tiny, almost football-shaped objects. These are pterin granules. Each one is just a few hundred nanometers long, and they are the absolute key to the butterfly's amazing brilliance. And this is their dual secret. These tiny granules are multitasking like crazy. First, they do the job of a pigment. They absorb UV light, which we can't see, but butterflies sure can. But second, and this is so cool, they also act as a physical structure. They scatter visible light all over the place, making the wing look incredibly bright. Think of them like smart sequins that can both absorb certain light and reflect other light. So just how important is that second job, the structural part? Well, this chart says it all. When scientists go in and chemically remove just the purine granules, leaving everything else in the wing scale untouched, the reflectance, which is basically the brightness, just plummets. It falls off a cliff. Those little granules are absolutely essential for that pop of color. And it gets even cooler. The more of these granules you can cram into a space, the brighter and more vibrant the color gets. And this is the direct microscopic reason for something you've probably noticed in nature, why male butterflies are so often much more flashy than the females. Their wing scales are literally packed with more of these little light-scattering powerhouses. Okay, so purines make butterflies beautiful. Got it. But this is where our story takes a really sharp turn. We're pivoting from the outside world of animal color straight into the internal chemistry of our own bodies. Because this exact same class of molecules is absolutely critical for us, too. In humans, the star purine is a molecule with a real mouthful of a name, tetrahydrobiopterin. So let's just call it BH4. It's way easier. Now, we don't use it for color. Instead, it's what's called a cofactor. Think of it as a helper molecule. It's like a key that allows other really important enzymes to do their jobs. Without BH4, some of our most critical biochemical processes would just grind to a halt. Now, this cycle might look really complex, but its job is actually pretty straightforward. This is happening inside your liver and your brain, and it's helping you process the building blocks of protein. Specifically, BH4 is the key that unlocks the conversion of one amino acid, phenylalanine, into another one, tyrosine. No key, no conversion. The whole process just stalls out. And man, the job list for BH4 is impressive. It's not just dealing with phenylalanine, it's also absolutely essential for making neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, the famous chemicals that regulate our mood, our focus, our movement. It's even involved in making nitric oxide for our cardiovascular health. This one little molecule is a major, major player in our body. So, what happens when this elegant system breaks down? What happens when your body can't make enough of this crucial helper molecule? Well, as you can probably guess, the consequences can be incredibly severe. This leads to a condition called tetrahydrobiopterin deficiency, or THBD. It's a rare genetic disorder where the body just can't produce or recycle enough BH4. And this creates a devastating 1-2 punch. You get a toxic buildup of phenylalanine, and at the same time, you get a critical shortage of those key neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. If it goes untreated, the effect on a developing child is just heartbreaking. That combination, brain-toxic phenylalanine and a lack of essential neurotransmitters, can lead to profound intellectual disabilities, seizures, and severe problems with movement and behavior. It just goes to show how unbelievably vital BH4 really is. And while this disorder is rare worldwide, its prevalence isn't even. This number is pretty striking. In Taiwan, for all the newborn babies that get flagged for having high phenylalanine levels, a condition many people know as PKU, almost a third of them actually have a deficiency in BH4. And that matters because it requires a totally different kind of treatment. But here's the really beautiful part of our story, where it all comes together. Because scientists understood this one molecule in such incredible detail, all the way from its job in a butterfly's wing to its job in a human cell, we've actually been able to develop really effective treatments. And the treatment is so smart. It's a multi-pronged attack based on everything we've learned. Doctors can give patients a synthetic version of BH4 directly. They can also control that phenylalanine buildup through a careful diet. And they can even give supplements of the precursors for those missing neurotransmitters to kind of create a workaround for the brain's broken pathway. So, in the end, you just have to step back and appreciate this incredible story. It's one single class of molecules, purines. In a butterfly, they're sculpted into these amazing nanoscale structures to create dazzling color for survival. And in us, a purine is this invisible, vital master key for our metabolism and the very chemistry that drives our thoughts and feelings. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other profound secrets about our own health and biology are just out there, hidden in plain sight, in the brilliant, beautiful colors of the world all around us?